Asrul. Thank you for joining us today. Juga teman-teman yang lain. We are going to have, I think this will be like the last public lecture in the housing and urbanism, breadth on housing and urbanism subject. And today, Dr. Asrul will talk about the morphology of new urban formation, Precedent of Putrajaya Urbanscape. Yeah, I think this will be very interesting. So let's say a bit about. So we have today Dr. Asrul Mahjuddin. He is from Department of Architecture, Faculty of Built Environment, University of Malaya. So it's a very good chance to have you today. I think it's the first time for everyone, especially only in this class, I mean, for having Dr. Asrul. So thank you very much for today. And yeah, we have time until 11, maybe it's 12 in Malaysia, right? So we have around 2 hours. Maybe like, if that possible, like 60 minutes for you to present the material.
Yeah.
Is that enough?
Yeah, kita cuba. We try our best. Yeah.
Yeah, but we still have time around 12, yeah, Malaysia time. So about 2 hours, yeah. Maybe if it's like 60 minutes for the presentation and also 60 minutes for discussion. But if but it's still maybe, I don't know, like the student want more discussion or not.
We take it. Yeah, we take it as it goes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Overall, we have 2 hours for everything. So yeah, let's start with that. So we start. Let's start it with basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hopefully, we can learn a lot from Dr. Asrul today. With everything we are going to share for us, and it's become a new experience for us. So, Dr. Asrul.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah. Please.
Share.
Yeah. For Dr. Asrul.
Okay. I can share the screen. Yeah.
Please.
Apa kabar Pak Wing? Apa kabar rekan-rekan di UI? I will try as much as possible talk in mix of English and in bahasa Indonesia. Ya, sudah pandai juga kita berbahasa Indonesia. Dan yang mudah-mudahan lebih banyak bakso dengan Estella lebih pandai bahasa Indonesia. Ya, okay. The original topic was given on touch on morphology. Morphology is something that quite important when we talk about urban city, etc. Back in the 60s, it's always referred this morphology into a couple of four parts. Yeah, this is basically the streets, the site, the plot of land, and the buildings. Yeah. And morphology is very much to do how urban and city grows. Yeah, but at the end of the day, what is it for? Yeah, we build city, we build urban, we build buildings. Yeah, it is for us. Untuk kita manusia menggunakan dan kita pakai. The other month, I think it was in October that I had a bit of presentation regarding Putrajaya on sustainability, and this sparked a lot of discussion, which is I think that's where we learn. We plot our thought and we discuss all possible angles. Yeah. Firstly, is that I'm not a planner. I'm not an urban designer. Sorry. And basically I'm architect by profession, but my PhD and my research interest has been on housing and urbanism, urbanity, yeah, urbanity, and obviously sustainability, yeah. And what strikes me is that how people and the whole environment, look at the situation within the urban context. KL, whoever has visited Kuala Lumpur, and obviously Pak Wing has visited Kuala Lumpur for many times, yeah. And this has been Kuala Lumpur. It's very developed. Yeah, it's sometimes overdeveloped, but nevertheless, there is always an area, a pocket of area where can be seen as not poor, but derelict. Poor is different, derelict is different. Derelict is that something that you tend to put it away, you know, nggak mau dilihat lah, diketepikan sedikit, ya. And a picture here, ya, boleh lihat satu ayam jantan tu cuba ada di tengah-tengah jalan, ya, tidak peduli orang, ya. Yeah, it's almost like reminiscence of a kampung. Seolah-olah kita berada di kampung. But at the same time, at the background, there's always KLCC, and the dual background is always have this very heavy construction site. At one point, Kuala Lumpur, Jakarta, Bangkok, Manila is like a huge acres and acres of construction site. You can see the RC reinforced concrete trucks, steel trucks, back and forth. Mundar mandir, yeah, back and forth, yeah, to do the construction. What's it for, this construction? Obviously, people want to work in the city, live in the city, and be part of the city. But city remain a good city kalau boleh dipakai dan ada orang. Betul tak? Kalau anda lihat cerita zombie, city-nya mati kerana yang ada cuma orang yang sudah mati. What the apocalypse, cerita apocalypse. There's nobody there, you know. Yeah, but are we in a new urban? Are we going to that direction? Is it this morphology of cities one day can we go that way? Kuala Lumpur takes many years to start. It starts off with a place within two rivers, antara dua sungai bertemu, dan situlah ada penjajah-penjajah dan juga peniaga-peniaga memulakan perniagaan dan berkembang. Ya, so many years, beberapa dekad. Sampailah habis Perang Dunia Kedua, sampai habis merdeka, dan sampailah sekarang. Yeah, but Malaysia, like any other Asian tigers, would like to grow fast and would like to manifest their success story. Begitu juga dengan Indonesia, and this is if I get these images from koran ataupun surat khabar dan juga images, this is something that is going to happen 50 years from now. Mungkin saya sudah nggak ada lagi di dunia ini. Yalah, kalau 50 years from now umur harus 100 lebih, jadi atau hampir 100 tahun. So this is a city in which you want to build instantly throughout the years. And will this possible? Will this possible? But is there any other city that will be built so quickly like this? Yes, Putrajaya. Putrajaya is actually satu tanah yang agak besar tanah per hektar. Used to be a palm oil, tempat menanam kelapa sawit. Kelapa sawit. We are second from compared to Indonesia. Indonesia is the main exporter kelapa sawit. Kita bukanlah the main exporter on kelapa sawit, but nevertheless kelapa sawit ladang-ladangnya in hectares. So at that particular time, the whole idea, as I mentioned in earlier slide, Kuala Lumpur dah overdeveloped. Seperti skripnya sama. Kuala Lumpur overdeveloped, Jakarta juga overdeveloped. Kuala Lumpur perlu satu city yang baru, Jakarta pun mau juga city yang baru. Bukan istilahnya ciplak, but are we going to that direction together? Nanti kita bisa lihat. So this is the start and part of the construction of Putrajaya. As a matter of fact, Putrajaya has one of the biggest man-made lake in Southeast Asia, if not ASEAN, if not even the world. Ya, jika dilihat pada construction Putrajaya, you have a building, one focus, it's called Putrajaya Convention Center, BJCC, and then you have the Prime Minister office and masjid, and this is an axis. Yeah, doesn't it look familiar? You have something there, and then you have something right in front. Yeah, but nevertheless, that's the whole idea. But the axis is not the whole idea. Its axis is that you want urban design idea to be part of the backbone of a city, of an urban planning. The whole idea of Putrajaya, oops, I think I'll do it this way. Yeah, member can see him. Maaf. The whole idea of Putrajaya perhaps is trying to look at the planning, some idea of planning. It wants it to have a comprehensive nature, alam sekeliling yang komprehensif, berapa fokus development, multidimensional, qualitative and quantitative changes, equal resources and use of distribution, ya, dari segi ekonomi. Ya. 3 paksi sustainability itu diambil kira. Ya. Paksi sustainability yang lazimnya adalah social, environmental, and economical. Ya. So they wanted to have that, tiga-tiga sekali. Ya. Tiga-tiga become the main axis, the main idea of building Putrajaya. I'm not sure of the new Jakarta, but I'm very sure of the old Jakarta, in which I enjoy the street. Yeah, sometimes all you want is that just to have a clean street, a safe street. You don't want to change so much. Yeah, yeah, and next slide. Yeah, and they have a couple of ideas. Yeah, macam-macam bentuk idea. Elevated linear concept, crescent concept, suburban concept, build nature concept. Akhirnya idea yang dipakai adalah garden city concept. Kerana itu in an urban development of Putrajaya, the whole idea is the backbone of greenery. The backbone of greenery. So where does this take us when it comes to the urban morphology, the places, the city? Where does it take us? Yeah. So a couple of interesting. Oops. Saya lupa nak offkan ni. Ya, maaf. Yeah. Couple of theory of place. Yeah. If we live in an urban context, in urban city, and we cannot identify, something is wrong with that particular place. Yeah? So basically, a place is where a geographical, architectural, and social connotation. There's some attributes. Yeah, there's something that at the end of the day, place is about how we interact as a human being with another human being. The human being with the something which is not livable. Sorry, something is yang tidak bernyawa, like bangunan, ya, atau jalan, and something that we also interact with nature. Yeah, that at the end of the day, that's what it is. If you look at it in concept, yeah, and we need to have also a character. Kalau orang bilang apa yang karakternya Jogja? Give me the 3 best character of Jogja compared to 3 best character in Jakarta. Yeah, and then obviously there must be a spirit of place, life, and character, and visual cue. Visual cue is quite important. Yeah, it gives you sense of identity. Now the danger is that if the visual cue gives you ini di Putrajaya ke, atau di Singapura ke, atau di Bangkok ke, atau di Amsterdam, yeah, or it can be anywhere. Yeah, at the end of the day, whether you are being Indonesian or being Malaysian, yeah, you got to stick that. That's the beauty, is it? As it is that you are Indonesian, you are Malaysian, and you have your character. Yeah, you have your character. It's almost like you're trying to turn everything like in architectural works and international style. Yeah, you pluralkan semuanya, so everything can goes in. Come to a stage like you almost have a food. Yeah, the only food that you remember is burger and Kentucky or McDonald's. I worry that one day our youngsters, our kids does not have that sense of belonging and identity. And it is also very, very important in an urban context. An urban context. Why people travel so far away to be in one urban city or one city altogether? Because they want to be has a different context. Kenapa mereka pergi ke Eropah? Oh, tentu saja sekali Eropah lain konteksnya dengan Jakarta. Kenapa harus pergi ke Bangkok? Dan konteksnya lain dan sebagainya. The identity. This is the part that begin to worry me as a researcher or as a person. Now, it's always interesting that when it comes to new cities, urban cities, they want to have a social connection or connotation, and always give this picture of it had to be picturesque. Picturesque meaning that gambarnya cantik tapi ada nilainya tidak. Ada nilainya tidak. Kadang-kadang ada waktunya gambarnya tidak cantik, nilainya besar. Saya bagi contoh, kalau Anda lihat, if you take a picture of supermarket, cantik supermarket di dalam, Hero dan sebagainya. Tapi kalau Anda pergi sebuah pasar di Jakarta, pasar Kota Lama dan sebagainya, busuk lah, kotor lah sebagainya. But there's a lot of different context. One, if I can produce you a good picture, it's not so livable, and the other one does not give you a good picture, but there's a lot of things going on. I will show you later. How this thing can make an urban morphology or an urban context very sterile. Sterile ni apa ya? Bahasa Indonesia sterile. Apa sterile ya? Kalau ada bisa bantu. Sterile ni dia tidak ada rasa. Dia tawar, mereka tawar. So in Putrajaya, since it is it's not an instant city, but it's almost an instant city. It's been constructed in 10 years. The whole idea, 10 years, 20 years now, sudah hampir ke Jubli Jubli Perak barangkali. Coming to 25 years. So you try to create this to respond to human emotion. I give you a picture of tangga. Tangga tu does not have color, but it was a dead, mati. Just so try to put up some life sebagai satu gambar kehidupan. It will provide you, try to give you a space, but ada orang kah yang guna? And then compared to apa yang ada di depan masjid, you create a space, and then you kata, ini anak-anak dilarang bermain-main di situ, tidak boleh bermain-main situ kalau ada waktu Jumaat dan sebagainya. Then what for to have this open space? You want to have this human emotion within the space, within the context of a urban morphology as how it grows. And then you want to have this the spirit of place. But do you really need tanda love? This is love. Do we have to have this advertisement of wording? To give you a spirit of the place. Or sometimes a spirit of a place can be so serene, very quiet. Very quiet. And people can identify that, this is the jenis lakai of the particular place. Cantik, indah, tapi tidak boleh diguna. Sepertinya apa ya? Ada makanan itu enak, tapi tak boleh dimakan. And we create this identity. We wanted to have a place and identity, and we use architecture a lot. The irony, satu gambaran ni, there's two building, one very modern, but only in silhouette, the arc, kubahnya. Tapi satunya lagi dia buat dalam bentuk kubah. One is bangunan perbadanan. This is bangunan perbadanan. The one in metal cladding. The one at the foreground is bangunan mahkamah. Just for your information, aneh ada kubah yang cantik, Ada yang kubah yang cantik, but then when you go inside, it's a flat ceiling. Tak nampak kubah. So imagine you go to a mosque. Oh, ada kubah cantik. Anda fikirkan there'll be a very nice, interesting structure or some decoration, but they're not flat. Yeah. You know, you're giving a visual cue, but to the extent it become fake. Yeah. Are we going into that direction? Yeah. Oops, another slide. Hold on, yeah. Oops. Another idea turning to sense of place is that, you know, it gives you a different, altogether, completely different unique qualities. It gives you the ability to experience these qualities. It gives you an attachment. Yeah, it permits you some emotion. Yeah? And obviously, the last is oriented in the environment using all the senses. Yeah? Hidung, telinga, bau, tangan, rasa, dan sebagainya. Yeah. And one day, 50 years from now, if you anak-anak ataupun cucu-cucu barangkali melihat Jakarta yang baru, yeah, do you think you can have this? Or is it when you enter the new Jakarta or seperti the new Putrajaya, suddenly that is can this be in Malaysia or can this be in somewhere else? Yeah. Now, for a lot of urban designer, yeah, sometimes they don't want to engage into this because it has been forced by developer and government to mimic, you know, developer or government officials who has experienced things overseas. So seolah apa yang mereka lihat di luar konteks, luar negara, di luar Indonesia, di luar Malaysia, sebagai benda yang baik baru. Yeah. But that is something that you can learn. You can learn yang benda yang baru, ya. But jangan digunakan atau jangan disingkirkan hal-hal yang provide the context of Indonesia, context of Malaysia. Yeah. And sense of place always evoke this meaning. Yeah. Evoke this meaning. Yeah. Nothing wrong dengan gambar jalan kaki lima yang agak usang somewhere at the back di Kuala Lumpur. Nothing wrong, tak ada salah. As long jalan itu tidak ada lubang-lubang, as long that di malam ada lampu, ya, apa namanya, genting, the roof can be repaired, and it's safe. It's okay. Yeah. And why must it make it so sterile? Yeah. Why must it you destroy the idea of sense of place? Yeah. And on the right is Malioboro, kan? Tak apalah ada apa nama yang kuda tu, endong. I can't quite remember. Ada becak, ya. Ada, yalah, mungkin kita tidak mau adalah yang mungkin bau busuk, jalan yang berlubang, yang menyukarkan untuk orang tua, ya, ataupun orang yang pakai kursi roda dan sebagainya. Ya, isn't this the character yang lama, ya, kan? And then character is only unique. When you see both of these picture, I am very sure that you can say this is from different city or this is urban concept, the urban context. Yeah, but can Putrajaya has this or not? Boleh tak Putrajaya ada ni? But at the same time, can your new Jakarta will replicate the things that we experience here? I'm not saying Putrajaya is completely wrong. Neither I say Putrajaya is completely right. Yeah, you have to be careful. Kita sebagai designer, ya, pada anak-anak muda yang bakal jadi arsitek, planners dan sebagainya, ya, you look at this picture and then compare to this. Apa bedanya? This one and this one. Ya, bukankah this one yang barangkali Pak Menteri ataupun developer, oh cantik, lurus, ya, dan sebagainya. Ya. But it was so formal, nobody wants to walk. Ya, tak ada orang berani jual burger atau jual goreng pisang Ya, kerana undang-undang kata, oh tak boleh, harus begini, formal. Ya. Oops, against this. Ya, this is informal. Ya, jalannya lurus, Pak. Apa bedanya jalan lurus? Ya. At the end of the day, what you build for? That's why it's in my first point. Why we build city? Why has to be an urban design? Why urban morphology? All this, site, building, place, had to be within the context. At the end of the day, it's about human beings, isn't it? Yeah. So the complex is trying to create some psychological component, behavioral. It affected people. Dia akan memberi kesan kepada orang. Ya. Memberi kesan. Sometimes there are places in which you will remember. Cuba anak-anak, para mahasiswa-mahasiswi yang terhormat. Ya, you close your eyes. Is there particular urban context, a city that you remember when you were a child? But what makes it that you remember? Yeah, what makes it that you remember? Yeah. Time is a major component of a place. Yeah, it only exists in meaning. That is meaning in your psychological meaning. That what makes us human being. Yeah. So the lack of sense of continuity create uncomfortable environment. Yeah. Yeah. Sebab itu, there's always say, Rome is not being built a day. It takes 100 years to build Rome. Yeah. Yeah. So this environmental and society, it's very, very important, especially if your city, if an urban place has an heritage value. Ya, seolah-olahnya seperti industri batik di Indonesia. Yeah, of course, people always remember Indonesia as a wonderful and beautiful batik design. Yeah, imagine all the batik designers, manufacturer bertukar jadi Uniqlo. Yeah, where is that sense? Yeah, where is that meaning? Yeah. I'm not sure whether I'll give you a great example, but nevertheless, there are a couple of things that are associated, physical, nature or man-made, functional, of course dia kena berfungsi, and then meaning. Why meaning is important? Ya. Tadi anda lihat jalan raya di Putrajaya menghala ke Prime Minister Office, menghala ke Prime Minister Office. Ya. Does it have any meaning? Yeah, meaning is so formal. Yeah. Does it have any function? Yeah, ada function. But kalau compared to jalan di Malioboro, which one do you want to go the most? Yeah. And obviously, there's a couple of sense of place, sense of place yang berfungsi. Yeah. Kalau lihat dua picture, one is Kuala Lumpur, Kuala Lumpur. This is somewhere dekat dengan market. Saya mahulah juga jalan-jalan sini. I have an option to buy stuff. Di sini ada juga kedai, small, but people don't go there. Aneh, ada juga warung-warung, tapi tak ada orang mau pergi. Di sini ada juga di belakang-belakang. As long you make it safe, clean, tidak ada barangkali banyak lubang di ini dan selamat, it will be okay, isn't it? But two different ideas, different, isn't it? And obviously the moment authority memberikan peraturan di situ, habislah. Sebab itu sometimes people joke, Singapore is a fine city, F-I-N-E, fine city. Ada dua maksudnya fine. Fine itu adalah cantik, fine itu adalah denda. And what makes people attached to places? Banyak perkara. And obviously things that can be associated with places is the emotion, the accumulated emotion. The accumulated emotion. What strikes me jalan-jalan di Malioboro bukannya Malioboro Mall, tapi penjual-penjual di kaki lima di street, and also lesehan-lesehan. Saya takut nak makan di lesehan. Teman saya pernah sakit perut 2 hari, dia masuk hospital. Perutnya tak kuat, makin terlalu pedas. But very nice. And I'm very grateful dengan Ibu Arif. It took me to one warung. It's not a very famous bakso. I think bakso 77 is the one famous, but Yeah, it's just a small shop, and the food is very nice. Yeah. It strikes you until today. You almost when you close your eyes, oh, you know jalannya di sini ke sana. Tapi nama jalan saya tidak ingat, sampai ingat the experience. Yeah. So this is what makes people attached to places, the experience. Yeah. So I give you all these points, but at the end of the day, you know, what makes people attached to the place is how they experience. And then the context tu penting. Context tu penting. Yeah, to context to make it very much attached, whether you are from Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Belanda dan sebagainya. Yeah. The physical context, as I mentioned earlier, yeah, there's always this natural setting. Yeah. But banyak hal di Putrajaya had to be man-made. It's almost like a Disneyland of urban design. Yeah, Disneyland urban design, semuanya ada. If you go to Disneyland, siapa yang sudah pergi? Kalau di Indonesia, di Jakarta panggil Dufan barangkali, kan Dufan. Ya. Tapi saya tak pernah pergi Dufan. Teringin juga pergi, tapi one day lah kita pergi ke Dufan. Yeah, and you have different places that you want to experience, but basically everything is man-made. But of course, you want as much as possible. There has this combination of man-made and natural, and both of this yang dibuat oleh manusia dan alam semula jadi itu ada konteks yang boleh digabungkan. Ya. And this is the natural setting, isn't it? Very picturesque. I mentioned it a few times. Wah, Putrajaya very picturesque. Ambil gambar, wah cantik ya, cantik. Yeah, cantik, nice. Yeah. Do you like cities like this? Do you like urban cities like this, or do you dream city like this? Ya, barangkali Pak Jokowi dream ya, pernah datang malam-malam dengan Pak Menteri, lihat Putrajaya, oh cantik ni Putrajaya, maulah saya di Kalimantan satu. Ya, jadilah satu Kalimantan yang baru ya. Ya, well, of course, it depend on the debate. Yeah. This portion is the Prime Minister office. If you can see the cursor, and this is actually, the name is Prime Minister Prime Minister Mosque, bukan Putrajaya Mosque. Putrajaya Mosque is Sultan Mizan Mosque is Putrajaya Mosque. Yeah, this Prime Minister office, this is Prime Minister Mosque. Yeah, kita di Putrajaya orangnya alim-alim ya, banyak sekali mosque surau. Yeah, we have 60,000 people currently. We want to have the population about 200,000, and we have a few big mosques. Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure whether it's trying to be an architectural statement, social statement, or both. Yeah. So the context and urban setting. Yeah. Di Kuala Lumpur, that's how it is. It's all started. Di belakang ini adalah Masjid Jami'. Ya, Masjid Jami'. Dan ini adalah Sungai Kelang dengan Sungai Gombak. Bergabung. Ya, dan disitulah namanya Kuala Lumpur. Ada satu tempat yang ada kuala dan dipenuhi lumpur, jadilah Kuala Lumpur. Ya, kalau dia ada got yang besar, Kuala Got lah ya, ataupun got yang berlumpur. Ya. But di Putrajaya, ya, adakah bangau-bangau itu datang sendirinya? No. Ya, kita ternak. Ya. But if I didn't tell you that's Putrajaya, of course you say, barangkali ini taman botani di Singapura nih. Oh enggak lah, di Miami barangkali ini. Yeah. But the character in Kuala Lumpur is fixed. The physical context. Yeah. This is where it is. You know? You can have it as time goes by. Yeah, you make it within the context. Yeah. You don't force things to come in, but now society wants it instant. Yeah. Sebab itu WA sangat penting ya. Jawapannya instant. Ya. Masyarakat semuanya instant. Ya. Instant me. Ya, instant. So the future of physical environment associated so much with identity. The skyline, the shape, the texture, material. Why all these are physical form experiences are important? It give you sense of of experiences, sense of experiences. And secondly, that it gives you certain townscape qualities. It gives you some ideas pertaining to location and juxtaposition of physical elements. Saya rasa saya tidak perlu cerita panjang hal-hal point-point physical environment of place. I think you can learn from the theory of urban design and so forth. Yeah. But how does this translate into architecture? Yeah. Now, this is the townscape quality. Yeah, you compare this townscape quality, yeah, in between buildings, and juga in between buildings that you have experienced in Jakarta. Yeah, I mean kita sudah 2 tahun tidak bergerak. Yeah, this is nighttime and daytime. Where are the people? Yeah, and this becomes such an issue that the authority begin to relax. Yeah, nanti saya akan tunjukkan. Yeah, trying to relax. Yeah, so the physical environment, location and juxtaposition. Wow. This is, remember tadi, ya, satu 3D informasi berkenaan dengan di New Jakarta. Ya, we have Prime Minister Office. Ya, we have the square dalam bentuk bundar bulat, and we have the masjid, Prime Minister Office, Prime Minister Mosque. Ya, dikelilingi dengan kehijauan. We have abundance. 1/3 Putrajaya adalah kehijauan. Ya, I think in urban, the current urban cities, to get 10% is already hard. And we have about more than 30% kehijauan. And most of it you nampak hijau saja, but actually these are in between our houses, in between our office, in between kantor. Yeah. But I think maybe they done it too well. Terlalu bagus. Yeah. Terlalu bagus is that they need to look at the human activities altogether. Yeah. Activities that is associated with the use of the building. Yeah, it's very important. Kalau bangunan itu kantor, ya, barangkali Anda harus ada juga lah tempat-tempat yang orang bisa makan. Jangan saja makan hanya di dalam kantor atau take away. So density control, yeah, and then the form, how it's create some pattern, yeah, and some human activities, yeah, human activities, yeah. Oops, yeah, hold on. Create this sense of experiences. Ya. Satu adalah pasar di Kota Baru, Kelantan. Kota Baru, ya, Kelantan, di north part of Malaysia. The other one here sebelah kanan ini Putrajaya. Ya, Putrajaya. Terlalu teratur. Dua-duanya pun teratur. Ya, but the one in Kota Baru, it's you allow people to color everything. Ya, berikanlah kebebasan. Tapi everything had to be controlled in Putrajaya, ya, to be uniform. Ya, imagine kalau anak-anak berbaris di sekolah, sudahlah pakai baju yang sama, karakternya pun sama, rambutnya pun sama, namanya pun sama. Ya, you don't have that sense of identity. Ya. And streetscape pun also important. It's stimulate. Ya. This is some idea of streetscapes, ya, seperti pasar basah atau pasar Rabu. But all you want at the end of the day is some informality. Informality. So human activities is so much needed within urban morphology. Perlu sangat. Ya, jangan sudahlah kita ada peraturan undang-undang, but at the same time we end up over control, overthinking on over control. Yeah, the 3 listed activities in public spaces are optional activities, the necessary activities, and social activities. Yeah, of course the necessary activities seperti kantor, optional activities seperti kedai, gerai, social activities tempat yang berinteraksi. All these are some activities very important for how you grow a city. Yeah, morphology, remember, is about things are being developed. There are 4 qualities, and one of the qualities, of course, how you use the city or an urban context. And obviously, there are a couple of other human activities over here. Just put up some points. And climate also become very important. Yeah, how do you respond? Ya, kalau dilihat di sini rasanya di manakah kita boleh berada di sebuah negara tropika, ya. Over here, ada satu rencana di TV, ya, tempat berbasikal. Ya, di sini ada tempat untuk motor, bukan sepeda motor dan juga mobil. Di sini tempat untuk bicycle, ya. Di sini tempat pejalan kaki, ya. So you control, ya. Yang kalau di sini di kota biasa, ya, di sini adalah mobil, sepeda motor pun di sini, dan the street can be used in front of the shops. Yeah, here the street in front of the shop cannot be used. Yeah, so in terms of idea and in terms of use is very poor. Yeah, I'm not trying to criticize Putrajaya as a bad city, a new bad city. Yeah? The meaning of bad, yeah. But what I'm saying is that it must have some connection to you, to the people who's using it, to the designers, or to whoever people who work. Yeah? And sometimes symbolism also help. If I can ask everyone, apakah simbolnya Bandar Jogja? Barangkali Tugu, kan? Ya, I remember kalau kata apakah ikonnya Jogja? Apakah architecture ikonnya Jogja? Ya, can anybody answer? Later can give it to me. No. Selain Tugu apa, ya? Yeah. And then in this one provide you meaning, symbols. Yeah. It provide you some idea tentang urban. And kalau dilihat, kan, ya, Malaysia pun banyak simbol, ya. Wah, apakah simbolnya Malaysia? KLCC. Ya. So apakah simbolnya Putrajaya? Masjid Putrajaya, tapi bukannya nama Masjid Putrajaya. This is Masjid Putrajaya. Oops. Sorry. Maaf. Ya, this is Masjid Putrajaya. Can see my cursor. This is KLCC. Ya, yang ini Melaka, ya, gereja Portugis, gereja Belanda, kan, quite remember. Ya. And if Jakarta, Monas, selain Monas apa dia? Ya. So symbol give you the context of different culture. Indonesia has a lot of different culture. Ya, kalau di Kuala Lumpur, the context of course Masjid Jamek. Kalau di jalan is Masjid India ataupun Jalan India ataupun Chinatown. Most countries has Chinatown. Barangkali masyarakat Cina like to mengembara. And obviously level of context daripada yang kecil sampai yang besar, daripada yang kecil sampai yang besar. It goes from city level, precinct, street, block, and site. I just give you later on a bit of gambaran. So the macro level, it gives you the regional, national, state. Tapi we don't go into that. And then it gives you this characteristic. Unfortunately, if there's a 5-foot walkway, Putrajaya tak ada. Kalau 5-foot walkway di Jakarta ada tak? Kalau 5-foot walkway, tempat jalan di depan toko-toko, ada tak di Jogja? I cannot find a picture that represent a 5-foot walkway. 5-foot walkway is quite important. It's an idea that you are in a tropical country, di depan kedai, di bawah bangunan itu Anda bisa jalan. And of course, Putrajaya decided to control all the buildings. We have about government buildings, about 5%. And then green area is quite big. Green area, parks, open spaces, greenery cover 30%. And kalau dilihatkan apakah karakter ataupun ikonik berkenaan dengan Putrajaya. So Jubli Perak adalah 25 tahun Putrajaya. So they say paling ikonik Putrajaya ada 5. Kalau katakan ada 6, dia buat 6 stamp lah. So this is why we capture what is so iconic about Putrajaya. So later on in 50 years, what is so iconic about New Jakarta? Or maybe can you name us what is 5 iconic Yogyakarta? why we raise this? Yeah, because this part and parcel when you can identify a city, yeah, within an urban backdrop. Yeah. So in Putrajaya, kita ada banyak bridges, jambatan. So this is one of the bridge. Jabatan Perdana Menteri, semuanya Perdana Menteri. Yeah, this is Masjid Sultan Mizan. It's actually Masjid Putrajaya. Ini adalah bangunan mahkamah besar, ya. Dan inilah bangunan Perbadanan Putrajaya, dan ini adalah kantor Perdana Menteri, ya. Kita di Malaysia sangat obses dengan dom, ya. Kalau tak ada dom kita bukan Muslim. Yang seolah-olah kalau pakai songkok baru jadi Muslim, kalau nggak pakai songkok nggak boleh jadi Muslim, ya. Is that how architecture to be? Is that how we're going to address an urban context? Yeah. So micro level of the city, you look at micro level and then macro. Kalau dilihat daripada luar, it's nice city, nice pictures. Tapi kalau lihat di bawahnya, aduh, mana orangnya, semuanya di bangunan. Habis masuk dalam mobil, keluar. Pagi dari mobil naik ke atas, sorenya dari atas turun ke bawah naik mobil keluar. You spend so much amount of money to build this huge western-like boulevard. Ya, itu kan namanya boulevard, the boulevard of streets. And it can be extremely dangerous. Number one is that not extreme, but it's dangerous in the sense that it increase the heat island. Dia jadi panas, menyebabkan tempat itu panas, ya. Dan juga at the same time become a dead space, tempat mati, ya, kawasan mati. And kalau dilihat di sini, you can see that there's a lot of other development. It's surrounded. The one very formal over here is the backbone, the administration and the office, and surrounded by housing. Yeah, surrounded by housing. Yeah, so there are a couple of factors to be considered in city level. History, Putrajaya tak ada history. Sejarahnya adalah sebuah ladang kelapa sawit yang besar, huge ladang kelapa sawit. And then ditebang semua kelapa sawitnya, and then build a city. Masalah dengan tanah dengan kelapa sawit ini, 1 meter dalam tanah tu gambut, and now they start to have experiences mendapan, and there's a lot of termite. Termite grow quite easily. Topography, yes, what most of the Putrajaya is man-made. Townscape we make it instant. We force things are. The same problem juga kita bawa. The thing is that di Kuala Lumpur jalannya macet, banyak mobil. Di Putrajaya pun macet juga jalannya. Karena orang berkitar di sekitar situ. To be frank with you, Putrajaya is a capital city, satu bandar for administration. 90%, if maybe 80 to 90% adalah pegawai negeri. So orang-orang pegawai negeri Putrajaya, bila mereka bekerja di Putrajaya dan kembali ke rumah-rumah, apartmen ataupun flat di Putrajaya juga. Imagine that. Anda experience, tetangga saya ini sebenarnya satu kantor. Itu juga bos saya tuh yang tinggal di seberang sana. Tidak ada kehidupan masyarakat. But skyline, you don't develop skyline. You try to develop the skyline to have a visual cue. To visual cue. The skyline is not as time or historically timeline progressive. Of course, you have urban pattern. And then most of the landscape is designed landscape, designed as you are intended to be. The city level of form of Putrajaya. You remember this slides, and then these slides try to picture the new Jakarta, and try to picture the current Jakarta, and obviously Putrajaya, this urban form completely different than it is in Kuala Lumpur. So this is the topography of the entire Putrajaya, topography, and And di mana? Di sini adalah yang kalau kecil ni ada arrow saya kalau bisa lihat. This is apa namanya? Kuala Lumpur Convention Center, bukan Kuala Lumpur, Putrajaya Convention Center, maaf. Di atas ini adalah dia Prime Minister Office. Yang ini adalah Masjid Prime Minister Office. Selalu orang refer as Masjid Masjid apa namanya? Masjid Putrajaya. Actually Masjid Putrajaya yang ini. So you have about 3 kilometer or 4 kilometer of a spine. Yeah, spine. Yeah, and the rest is being developed around. Kebanyakan adalah rumah, kantor-kantor kecil dan sebagainya. They even have kawasan kubur untuk Putrajaya. It's over here. Yeah. Dan siapa yang tinggal di Putrajaya berhak, kita ada hak juga untuk satu petak kubur. Siapa yang bekerja di Putrajaya, kuburnya di depan. Siapa yang cuma alamatnya di Putrajaya, kuburnya di belakang. Ya. Bukan first come first serve. Ya, aku mati dulu, aku di depan. Kau mati kemudian di belakang, tak ada. Ya, so kalau anda bekerja di Putrajaya, adalah pegawai negeri di Putrajaya, kuburnya di depan. Kalau tidak, di belakang saja. Ya. Yeah, so I got to know this when my mother passed away. Yeah, skyline of Putrajaya, skyline. So this is a picture. Yeah, this is gambar saya ambil di internet. Yeah, this is bangunan university. Akan quite remember, it's a private university. Yeah, private university. Dia cawangannya dari UK. Yeah, I think Monash. Yeah. And at the backdrop here, hotels. Yeah, hotels. And then very picturesque skyline. Provide the roof line. Yeah. So somewhere during the sunset, give you a very nice idea. Yeah, but on the macro level, but if it is in the micro level, bagaimana? So there are things that you want to consider, of course. Urban structure, district, edges, nodes, landmark, texture, land use, special feature. Yeah. So I leave few these points. I will not go into a lot of other points. Yeah. And when it comes to the texture jalan, texture kiri kanan, color, yeah. One is Putrajaya, one is Jogja. Kalau saya tanya tuan-tuan, pak dosen, profesor, doktor-doktor, anak-anak, mahasiswa-mahasiswa yang saya hormati, which one do you think tourists would like to go and experience? Ya, barangkali anda sudah terbiasa dengan this chaosness, this informality. Anda tertarik dengan formal. Ya, barangkali kami yang tinggal di Putrajaya is so formal, kita suka yang informal. I do not know, maybe the new Jakarta kena ada satu informal, satu formal. Ya, the administrative part biarlah formal. Ya, the not administrative part biarlah informal. But the whole Putrajaya looks very formal. Yeah. And factors to be considered in precinct. Precinct ni adalah tempatnya, area, small area. Yeah. Factors to be considered as precinct, small area. Of course, we don't have the history. Yeah, we don't have the history. And the history is that it was once palm oil ladang plantation. Yeah. And of course, there must be some local character. Kalau kita lihat, ada tak local karakternya Putrajaya? I wonder. Ada tak local karakternya saya? Kalau di sini Jogja. So the question is that, to the students, how do you bring in local character? How do you bring in local character? Yeah, and then this pattern, texture of the space, the social cultural. The hardest part is always the social cultural. Social cultural. Ya, sometimes I wonder bila bicara dengan orang Indonesia suka sekali pergi ke Singapura atau ke Penang. I wonder why. Yeah, but some friends say, oh, shopping. Yeah, do you know dekat Kuala Lumpur there's less than 5 mall, KLCC Mall, Berjaya Mall, Mid Valley, and then I can't quite remember the other two. Because it's so small mall. But compared to Jakarta, you have 50 over malls. Yeah. But do you have an open space in which we can have a social interaction or not? So the hardest part when it comes to an urban design is how you create an urban space and people interact. Sometimes you create spaces for people to interact. People tak ada yang nak interact. Tak ada siapa yang mau pakai atau gunakan. Yeah. Why does these spaces, open spaces fail? Yeah. In Putrajaya we don't have this. Yeah. But kalau ada nanti mungkin dia akan demolish. Yeah. Nanti orang bilang, oh ini tu Chinese. Apa salahnya? Oh, yeah. This is does not reflect Malay architecture. Malay architecture lah. Chinese architecture, Chinese character. Yeah. We should allow some this diversity. Provide local character. Di Malaysia we have 3 kaum yang besar, Melayu, 50%, Chinese 30%, others India sebagainya, maybe around 10%. Yeah. And the context that we have, inilah di depan masjid. Yeah, you compare which one you want to go. Which one is interesting? Is this interesting or this interesting? This is interesting or this interesting? Is this reflect a local cultural context or this one local culture? To be frank, dengan tuan-tuan dan puan-puan dan para dosen dan juga anak-anak mahasiswa, most of the material for Masjid Perdana Menteri, or the one that people always call it Masjid Putrajaya, are imported. Orang yang sediakan ukirannya itu datang dari Kazakhstan, Turkistan, Pakistan, yang ada tannya lah di belakang, ya, Afghanistan, ya. Dibawa bertantan barang-barang ukiran marble ini. Ya. Why can't we have a local, Rahman? Even the material is imported marble. Yeah. So if I didn't say this is Putrajaya, maybe you end up say, oh, maybe di Turki ni, Turki modern, Istanbul. Yeah. But if you compare to this, yeah. Now, when it comes to precincts, obviously there's always landscape qualities, sensory qualities, improvement for the circulation, etc. And the problem dengan precinct di Putrajaya, dia tend to mix, ya. Ada tempat kedai, kantor, dan kawasan perumahan. Itu satu daerah lah, ya. Saya cuma ingat di Indonesia tu, di Jakarta, Pekanbaru, Pondok Indah, ya, Jakarta Selatan, Barat dan sebagainya. Ya. And even the night time, Putrajaya tend to be dead, mati, tak ada orang. Ya. Seolah-olah bolehlah ambil kasur tidur di tengah-tengah jalan. Yeah. And in comes to providing some urban context, yeah, in the theory and urban design. You want to control urban form, you want to have these characteristics of human activities, you have to have visual views. Yeah. And but whether it is possible or not. Possible-kah di Putrajaya? Oops. Possible-kah di Putrajaya? Yeah, this is the new challenges actually. After so many years, the completion of Putrajaya as a new administrative center, we found that I think we over-design or under-design. Or the design does not consider certain things that how people can live and use. Kalau compared to here, yeah. So you have a sense of area, sense of certain enclosures, yeah. And this is di atas ni ada somewhere still kat Malacca, and over here is of course Tugu, yeah. Kalau siapa yang pernah pergi ke Jogja melalui ini akan ingat, oh, this had to be Jogja. Ya, siapa yang pergi ke sini mungkin this is somewhere this is because there's a building there. Yeah. But the problem is that Putrajaya, the building and the character is almost the same, and yet they also carry the same problem. Yeah. So street level, yeah, you must have this idea of linkages. One of the most important, building use obviously, historical and how it functions obviously, how the rhythm of the street, yeah, but it's hard, yeah. A couple of pointers here, yeah, movement, views, microclimate, landscape qualities, etc. But when it comes to street level, can we have this? can we have this? I have to cut di bahagian bawahnya. Saya takut agak offensive sedikit. Yeah. Can Putrajaya has this mixture of different culture? Yeah. Putrajaya end up jadi monotonous. Yeah. When it comes to an urban context, we don't want too monotonous. Yeah. Hambar, hambar. And the landscape is nice. Yeah, the landscape is nice. We created this event icon. Yeah. Ini direka bentuk oleh Ken Yang. Sometimes kita architect designer pensilnya Ken Yang. Pensel besarnya Ken Yang. Ya, di belakang tu adalah Masjid Sultan Nizam, which is Masjid Putrajaya. Yeah, of course we have landscapers. We have landscape. Yeah, ideas for spaces in between buildings. Yeah, I'll go to the next slide. We have a lot of bridges. As a matter of fact, we over decorate our bridges. Bridges di jembatan-jembatan di Putrajaya, kita ada 7 jembatan yang melangkaui tasik besar Putrajaya, dan setiap jembatan tersebut provided different decoration, different planter box different, the pillars different, the light thing different. Yeah, only to give this sense of belonging on that particular area. We wanted to create some mystery. Oh, this is one area in which Putrajaya is different. Another jalan yang satu lagi Putrajaya is different. Yeah, but again, yeah, every street in the site has different decoration. Yeah, different decoration. And because of the street end update like this. Yeah, this is a daytime. Yeah, daytime. Ya, imagine Jakarta begini, enaklah tak pernah ada macet ya. Atau Jogja di sini ya. Jalan Sudirman begini, wah enaklah ya, nggak ada yang macet. It came to a stage, ada satu isunya tak cukup orang tidak ada orang untuk berada di atas tempat pejalan kaki. The open spaces is nice, but nobody occupy or use. And now the authority reinventing the street. Dia panggil food truck. Tapi dia kumpulkan food truck satu tempat. Beat the purpose ini. Kalau katakan food truck tu, biarlah food trucknya ada di sini. Mana gambar? Biarlah food truck ada di sini, ada di sini, ada di sini. So give you this livelihood. This life. Ya. Cuba bayangkan ya, semua penjual bakso diatur disusun satu tempat di kawasan parkir. Ya, terlalu dijaga. Ya, semua penjual esteller dikumpulkan di sini. Apa salahnya kalau ada di sini ada orang jual esteller, di sini ada orang jual bakso, di sini ada orang jual mie goreng. Kalau ada orang berjalan kaki di sini atau pakai sepeda motor, bisalah singgah beli makan-makan. But untuk menjaga kebersihan, so much so we wanted to provide cleanliness. We control everything. Yeah, so they allow this street food truck, and at the back, once every hari Rabu atau hari Khamis, I can't quite remember. So they allow untuk open di belakang ni tempat orang jual-jual sayur, but within the area. But still does not give the purpose that it can. Yeah. So within the block, again, we don't have the history, but we try to create. We have some rhythm. The rhythm somehow exclude the human factor. We want to have some human activities, and yet we control. We have some views, but we limit. And it's always like the dominant focal point remain as Prime Minister Office, Prime Minister Mosque. That become the norm of the focal point. Yeah. And the site immediate surrounding, again, is a couple of pointers. And as much as trying to respond to the site context, it's very clean. It's too sterile to me as a human being. Apa salahnya kalau kita pakai baju? Yalah, adalah pakai baju formal, tapi ada juga yang informal. Ada yang casual, ada yang tak casual. But the context within the urban, how urban morphology or how things are grew up within the context of Putrajaya, to me personally is too formal. Yeah, you got to allow in such a way that it give emotion. It should give this feeling, yeah. You most like you try to control everything. Apa salahnya kalau di sini ada satu jambak jeti, ya orang bisa terjun lah, enjoy the waterscape. Airnya tak dalam, cuma 4 meter saja, 1.2, 4 meter, okay lah, dalam tak dalam, taklah dalam sangat, ya, 4 meter. So you allow people, you have very nice tasik, tapi orang tak boleh mandi, tak boleh berkelah, boleh berkelah, tapi ada pagar, ya, tak boleh memancing, nanti ditahan, ditangkap. Wah, it's almost like you see a nice food but you cannot eat. You see a delicious food but you cannot smell. Yeah, you see something interesting within your plate but you cannot taste. Yeah. So in conclusion is that, we can't afford to make mistake that affect the future and lack of sensitivity. Yeah. And to be frank, the price is a lot to pay. Yeah? Because in a built environment, once you build, you cannot like tomorrow, salah ni, kita robohkan lah, kita robohkan dulu. Just almost like, Monas ni salah lah bikinnya, seharusnya gambar pedang atau keris saja. Dirobohkan bikin yang baru. No, you cannot. Once you build, then you have to build it. You have to leave it there for so many decades. So each design, saya lupa di sini letakkan local surrounding context and local context. Very important, this context. So places that you created must respond obviously to the climate, must be correspond to the climate, and must respond to the context. Tidak semua orang pakai dasi seperti saya, tidak semua orang suka pun pakai dasi seperti saya. Ada yang suka pakai baju batik, dan kita have to allow this diversity, very important, this diversity of identity, and we can't have a situation like this. You have a nice tasik, air, water body, mancing tak boleh, mandi tak boleh, bersampan harus bayar, tapi pakai sampan yang besar yang boleh masuk 20 orang. Apalagi yang tak boleh? Ya rugilah. Will it be nice that you can interact with the water space? You build it so beautiful, but it can be like in any places, isn't it? Barangkali kalau saya letak sini titlenya, ini adalah masjid di Istanbul, ataupun di Ankara. Maybe you will remember, maybe you will believe if you've not seen this. Okay, with that, thank you very much. I think I end this couple of references here, and the presentation. Sebenarnya kalau open talk like this, I like to be face to face. Once in a while, bolehlah create some jokes, ataupun have a body language interaction. But unfortunately, it's very difficult. But the only advantage having it online, I can be anywhere and you can be everywhere. I think with that, thank you very much. So the time now is 11:20-ish. So I apologize if longer than 1 hour, but I'm more than happy to answer any queries. So I leave this picture for you to consider. Is this what you want, the new Jakarta? Or one day you're going to miss your old Jakarta? I know that Jakarta is sinking. As a matter of fact, a lot of cities is sinking anyway, not just Jakarta alone. Venice already sunk. London is slowly sinking. So we need to appreciate one day our grandchildren, our kids will not be able to remember Jakarta. It's almost like this, ya, mahasiswa-mahasiswi yang saya kasihi. I do not know whether anda pernah experience, ya, pakai telefon yang you got to dial, pusing. Sekarang ni pakai handphone, halo Siri, ya, terus bisa dial. Ya. So thank you very much again, para dosen, especially the Department of Architecture, of UI, ya, dan para mahasiswa-mahasiswa yang dikasih. So with that, I stop share and I open to any question answer.
Terima kasih banyak Dr. Asrul untuk presentasinya ya. Ini suatu hal yang sangat baru ini. Sepertinya teman-teman akan punya banyak pertanyaan. Silahkan teman-teman atau Bapak Ibu dosen boleh menuliskannya di chat atau disampaikan secara langsung pada Dr. Asrul.
Kalau belum ada, saya tak menghangatkan.
Boleh, silahkan Pak P.
Assalamualaikum, Prof. Asrul. Aduh.
Ya. Soalannya yang senang-senang aja.
No, it's a very simple question.
Taklah, saya bergurau lama kita tak jumpa Pak. Aduh. Hai.
Iya, betul. Saya terakhir ke Malaysia kapan ya, lupa. Saya ketemu Pak Asrul
3 tahun.
itu.
3 years ago. Oh my God.
3 tahun yang lalu. And it's also, I think at the time I visited Putrajaya, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Prof.
Because I stayed quite long teaching at Shah Alam and UTM.
Yes.
My question, maybe the students are also interested, is the relations between formal and informal. Sorry, one moment. Between formal and informal, how do you define informality actually? Is it the regulations? Is it something that relates to the legal aspect of urban management? Atau arsitekturnya ya, tadi ya Putrajaya kan sangat stringent gitu ya.
Teratur.
Teratur gitu ya, dan mungkin ya tadi ada kata fine tadi, hampir seperti itu mungkin ya.
Singapore a fine
kalau
city
kita
ya.
bandingkan dengan Singapura ya. Tapi ada nggak ruang informalitas, upaya untuk mengakomodasi, the informality in Putrajaya? Because I've seen in a city like Melbourne, for instance. Melbourne also has, quite stringent, but there is a sense of informality exists, right?
Yeah.
Jadi ada ketika kota itu dilihat sebagai one of the most livable city, saya bisa mengerti begitu.
Ya, paham. Understood.
Tapi Putrajaya bagaimana kira-kira? Menurut Pak Asrul bagaimana?
Okay.
I think that's my a question to kick off the conversation. Thank you.
I always believe this. My idea and my personal belief when it comes to urban morphology, urban design. At the end of the day, it had to go back us as a human being untuk digunakan. When you create spaces, so huge, so big. So in a way, what's called that? Formal, how to describe formal architecturally is that it's the language by itself, the language of the design by itself. You use axis, you use a parameter within the architectural language. It's already give you a cue that you had to be formal. It's almost like when you design a staircase. What a formal staircase looks like, it's go straight flight. It's big, straight flight. But in formal staircase, maybe a small flight, it can be intertwining, it can be like a dogleg, etc. And to make it even worse, you already created a space, you created physically in that manner, in which you as a human being, the scale becomes small, and the space and the rest is big. To make it even to add into the situation, you have regulation. It's one of the slides I'm trying to put forth is that the is almost meant like for a parade. Ya, untuk orang apa menyambut 17 Agustus atau 31 Ogos, ya. Yeah, but the authority would like to bring in life to the streets by bringing in food truck, but they only allow food truck in the parking lot. Why can't they have the food truck? In between the buildings. There's some pocket of spaces. They worry that nanti kotor. I mean, that's what we are. Sometimes kita bukan. That's what we as a human being is different. Bukan kotor dari segi kotor. I'm not sure what they worry so much. But there are nice spaces under the trees. Kenapa tak boleh lah ada orang orang jual goreng pisang sore-sore kan? Habis kantor, wah orang bisa makan lah goreng pisang di situ. Tak boleh makan goreng pisang, harus di sana tu. Ada satu tempat khusus orang goreng pisang. Wah, semuanya ada orang goreng pisang. People doesn't want that. Even you in the mall, you don't put everything. Oh, ini tempat di sana satu sudut hanya untuk jual baju saja. Di sana satu sudut hanya untuk vegetable saja, atau untuk jual iPhone atau phone saja. But you can end up distributing it. So that as you flow around, you experience this. So perhaps the best way to answer, they are both physical and non-physical attributes. They're non-physical attributes, and then you end up with regulation some more. You end up regulation. I think both of us who has been to Singapore so many times, sometimes when we want to cross the street or be on the street, we sometimes ada orang kah di kiri kanan. Nanti saya accidentally cross, cross di ujung sana sudah ada orang pakai baju biasa. Come here, didenda $300. And then sometimes there's something that stuck in our mouth. We say, alamak, we have to speed. I mean, we don't have speed. Meludah kiri kanan. Tapi something suddenly terbatuk. You have to like, kita telan dulu lah, nanti kena sama. Nanti polisinya datang. But once you create all this, the city no longer belongs to a human being. The urban spaces no longer belong to human being. The in-between spaces within the context of building no longer belong to human being, belong to the regulation. I hope that's perhaps, So this is I think what the authority designers had to be careful when it comes to the new Jakarta. Your people in Indonesia so rich with diversity. To be frank, kita cuma diversity kita ada 3, Malay, Chinese, and others or Indian. You get hundreds of diversity.
Right.
How is that going to be translated? I have no idea. Even tougher, I think. Thanks for the question, Prof.
Thank you. Over to you, Putrajaya.
Thank you, Pak Wing, for the discussion. I think there's some challenges, right? When we try to develop like new urban area. Malaysia already has experience with the Putrajaya in Indonesia. Maybe soon akan punya ibu kota negara baru di Kalimantan. And I really think whether we are going to have similar issue or not. From your presentation, Dr. Asrul, I see that the challenge is, the first one is including how the people attach to the city, right?
Yes.
And also the second one, even though the city is not only about the physical built environment, but also there is a challenge about the putting the local identity to the city. I said that Putrajaya somehow people cannot recognize whether it's located in Malaysia or maybe not, or maybe not. And then what do you think about that? What need to be very considered? Because I'm thinking that the informality, you're talking a lot about the informality, but whether the physical built environment can can like what's it like open a change for that informality, or it's really affect the informality to be happen, or this is the people who creating that. Apakah memang desain kota itu bisa apa menciptakan atau memberikan ruang untuk informality, atau sebetulnya people yang punya pengaruh paling besar untuk menghidupkan sebuah kota.
Yeah.
Maybe because Putrajaya is, it's built not how many years?
Since beginning of 1990s, so sudah hampir 25 tahun lah. Yeah.
Oh, it's
so
okay.
the initiation of Putrajaya in the late 80s. So Jubilee Peraknya, so it's officially it's complete. It's can be occupied in the early 2000. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I understand your concern and your critique, your review, and first and foremost, for those who's going to live in Putrajaya, first and foremost, they make this not regulation. They say that we going to give pegawai negeri, government servant, pegawai negeri, to stay there. So the population, the majority of population, at one point 90%, so maybe not reduce a bit, so they allow some mixture, pegawai negeri. You imagine kalau Jakarta, who has population of 13 million, hanya pegawai negeri saja tinggal di situ. Ya, tidak ada orang yang peniaga tinggal, tidak ada artis yang tinggal, hanya pegawai negeri. Ya, that is by itself, create a very formal lifestyle hidup. Ya, ada satu mall di Putrajaya, dipanggil Alamanda, nama bunga. Yeah, and they inside the mall, they want it to look like another KLCC. So of course KLCC, you have this Louis Vuitton, you have Gucci, you have Montblanc, you have all these high-end product. Yeah, and they put this high-end product into this mall in Alamanda, in Putrajaya, sebagai pegawai negeri. Siapa yang mampu mau beli? Ya, kalau mampu lihatlah saja, kan? Ya, nanti kalau selalu setiap hujung minggu jajan di Montblanc, di Louis Vuitton, nanti KPK ya di sana ya. KPK nanti yang anti korupsi kan, nanti akan ketok pintu lah ya. Rajin shopping di Louis Vuitton, rajin shopping di Gucci. So when you have a society does not naturally mix, then you have an issue. Yeah, and then when you have a building and you design it in such a way, it's not the architecture so much, but the purpose of that particular building, and how in between the buildings, you allow you over-regulate, from who going to occupy that building, use the house or stay, without you regulate. You imagine, nak mati pun sudah diatur. Ya, kalau pegawai negeri Putrajaya di depan, kalau yang tinggal, kalau husbandnya, kalau suaminya pegawai negeri, istrinya bukan pegawai negeri, suaminya di depan, kuburnya di depan, yang satunya kuburnya di belakang, itu saja pun sudah diatur. Ya, sepatutnya kubur first come first serve lah, mati dulu. Kalau kamu mati dulu, ya kamu di depan. Kalau kamu kemudian, ya di sebelahnya saya. Imagine that. Imagine that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I can't quite see, in such a way. I think what actually the message I want to deliver in this lecture. Yeah. I always like to see what at the end of my lecture, apakah yang mahasiswa-mahasiswi akan bawa, akan carry inside their thought and to their class. Yeah. When it comes to an urban design, in any whichever form or whichever ideas or whichever angle, the context to extremely important, and most always very difficult to address. Yeah, how the context you relate to the society, the context how you relate to the environment, the context you relate to that particular place. Always very difficult. Ya, kalau dalam konteks sustainability, kan dia ada environment, dia ada social, dia ada ekonomi. Ramailah yang kalau mau bercerita pasal environment. Oh, environment ni gini yang kita harus pakai low carbon, very energy efficient. Kalau ekonomi, oh iyalah kita pakai bahan-bahan yang yang tidak mahal dan sebagainya. But social is always very difficult. Difficult. Sebab itu even in the context of green metrics, it's not easy to address social. So coming back to your review, Aisyah, and to your critics, the part in which we need to look at on urban morphology, how we going to address the human factor, human factor. I hope that gives a bit highlight of your comment.
Sure. So there is no common people tinggal di
Ada
Putrajaya.
comment sekarang ni dia allow.
Okay, sure.
As a matter of fact, one point, they don't even allow people yang ada anjing tinggal. So let's say tetangga ada orang Kristian atau orang Batak atau orang lain, they control. I'm not sure whether it's true or not, but you hardly see there's a dog unless it's a wild dog. Hardly see people has a pet. I mean, I don't mind if my neighbor has a pet. I mean, to a stage that like this, maybe I'm wrong with that perception, Putrajaya. But when you build your new city, inshallah one day, don't overregulate. Nanti yang tinggal di Kalimantan hanya orang Jakarta saja. Saya juga pegawai negeri, tapi saya dari Makassar atau saya dari Surabaya, boleh tak? Oh, tak boleh. Yang Jakarta dulu. So I do not know. And di Indonesia, you have a very large diversity. Oh, that's it. By itself, kalau saya that sentence diversity by itself in context of diversity, wah sudah sakit kepala memikirkan. I do not know architect and urban designer and planners di Indonesia bagaimana to address that.
Yeah. Well, we sure didn't know yet about the what's it will be the new capital city in Indonesia, because currently it's still a forest. Dan sekarang kita we don't know about like the society will occupy the new city. Like I bet because Putrajaya dekat ya dengan KL ya.
It's about 35 kilometer.
35, but there is like surrounded by another city.
No, Putrajaya is by itself a new development, a huge development. But there's a couple of small development coming up. So you have on the north Kuala Lumpur, and then when you go down to KLIA, in between Kuala Lumpur and KLIA is Putrajaya. Yeah, and then there's a small.
And then another.
Another development. It's a small satellite development called Cyberjaya. Semuanya ada jaya. Mudah-mudahan berjaya.
I bet this will be also happen in Indonesia. Another development in the surrounding area.
Is there a name for the new Jakarta city? Ada nama tak di Jakarta? New Jakarta.
Ada yang tahu? Currently we only call it Ibu Kota Negara, but I'm not sure whether negara.
Okay.
Teman-teman ada yang punya pertanyaan lagi untuk Dr. Asrul, please. Sebelah ini sangat menarik ini. Biasanya malu-malu ya, Dokter.
Janganlah malu-malu.
Silakan. Silakan teman-teman. bisa bertanya langsung.
Is there any consideration to turn an ordinary city to make it a walkable city and attract people? Okay. It's already a walkable city. Boleh pakai untuk pejalan kaki. Memang one of the consideration is for people able to walk. Jalan-jalan, bisa pakai sepeda, sebagainya. Tapi the thing is that bagaimana? The thing is that it is too much control. Sometimes the only place you can pakai sepeda, bukan sepeda motor, bicycle, only this. Ada special lane. The whole idea is good. You want to make sure people are safe. People are doesn't go elsewhere dan sebagainya. But at the end of the day, you got to talk about scale. Kalau anda design the whole of the pathway so formal, it's only good as riding. Walkable, yes, it's very walkable, but you want that walk to have certain experiences, isn't it? The only one of the issue that I find it that the walkability in Putrajaya is so monotonous. Experience-nya sama saja. Punya beda-bedanya lampunya lah, lampu jalannya beda, tiles di jalan raya agak beda, yang ni agak merah-merah, ini agak kuning. Mungkin pohonnya beda. Kalau anda experience walkability di Jakarta, okay, aduh di sini, aduh ibu ini niaganya di sini pula, ini jalan di sini sedikit, jalan, tapi you have different experience. The experiences make it very colorful. That people will remember. But unfortunately people remember juga berjalan kaki di Putrajaya, but the only thing is that monotonous lah. Sama saja. Sepertinya anda makan makan sate. Ini sate ayam tapi rasanya sate ayam. Ini sate sapi rasanya ayam. Ini sate ikan rasanya ayam. Sama saja. Same. Only the only difference is the shape. So I hope that that provide you a bit of the answer. But to turn around the city is difficult. I mean, they got to make it informal lah. Allow perhaps ada orang jajan-jajan, bisa makan-makan, minum-minum. Ini sekarang dengan COVID lagi lah. Kalau ada tempat, ada warung sedikit, lebih daripada 5 orang, semuanya harus disaman, didenda. Sudahlah, sudah susah untuk mencari tempat warung-warung, tempat-tempat jajan, malah kena denda lagi. Lagi orang tak mau pergi. But holistically, if you look from far, macro, nice, cantik cantik. Okay, ada satu lagi soalan di sini Febri Afiantoro. Di sini di chat, saya minta maaf Thank you for interesting explanation, Bapak Asrul. Permission to ask few question, okay? About place of identity in Putrajaya, right? With visual as a layman, the layout, density, style, and architecture is almost close to Middle Eastern city and Arab country. Whether the Malay place identity, which is majority that is not used the urban formation, please discuss. Okay, identity is not an easy subject, and how you, especially when you want to translate into architecture. It's easy to translate identity in the form of fabric, physical. Kalau rumah Melayu, rumahnya seperti inilah, rumah Melayu. Ke rumah Cina, rumahnya beginilah, rumah Cina. Rumah Minangkabau, beginilah pula, Minangkabau ada tanduknya dan sebagainya. Physical is easy. The hardest part, how you translate the non-physical context. So, to translate the spaces, the urban context, the visual cue to be Malay, it's not easy. But there are things that you want to avoid, isn't it, at the first place. When you design buildings, seperti contohnya tadi bangunan mahkamah. Kenapa buat bangunan mahkamah dengan dom? Kalau dari jauh orang lihat, itu masjid lagi kah? Kan? You have designed a dome. Sepertinya kalau anda bikin kuih itu, semua kuihnya rupanya sama, tapi rasanya lain-lain. Why does it be? Karenanya at that particular time pemerintah tu ataupun developernya dia fikirkan, oh Melayu tu Islam. Tak semua orang namanya Melayu, ada namanya orang namanya Ibrahim tapi dia bukan Islam. Ya, seperti di Sabah Sarawak namanya nama Melayu tapi not necessarily Muslim. Ya. Seperti di Indonesia, ya. Saya tak tahu kalau katakan nama-nama Jawa tu dia Muslim ke tak Muslim, dia general, ya. Ya. So di Malaysia they tend to have that as long kalau ada Kubah dia Islam, Islam tu Melayu, Malay. For that connection they tend to use. Ya, ada juga architecture, ya, rumah-rumah Melayu tu dibesarkan. Wah, sebesar mall lah rumah Melayu. But the scale salah pula, ya. Ya, sepertinya rumah joglo tu sebesarnya rumah anda desain rumah joglo tu sebesar Indonesia Mall. Aneh kan? Yeah, the scale is different. You got to refer to scale. The scale tiang, lebar, tinggi, ya, atap, sebagainya. Size ruang, depan, kiri, kanan, ada scale-nya, uniqueness. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I believe like this. This is my personal belief. And because if you want to satisfy, oh, I had to be Malay, nanti orang Cina kata, kita juga orang Malaysia, kenapa? Apa salahnya ada identiti Cina? Dah berkelahi. So the best is that we are both Asia, from ASEAN countries. We are both in Malaysia with experienced tropical climate. Yeah. So we have a tropical design in the context. Yeah. Modern architecture allow abstraction, and we live into a series of abstraction ever since Industrial Revolution. Series of abstraction kalau lihat international style, Art Nouveau sampailah constructivist, deconstructivist, regionalism. Ya. Tempoh hari saya bagi lecture history. Dan anak-anak kalau mau join lah. Ya, hari Isnin nanti saya bagi satu lagi kuliah. Ya, saya suka bagi kuliah di Indonesia. Saya pun nggak tahu kenapa. Ya, anak-anak Indonesia, ramah-ramah dengan dosen-dosennya. What I'm trying to establish here, Mr. February, is that it's not easy to translate the Malayness, but do not take somebody else's cue and then you say this is Malay. Somebody else's cue seperti anda, itulah, pakai kubah, bukan saja masjid, kantor mahkamah pun pakai kubah. Ya, bangunan publik pun pakai kubah, dom. Ya, sepertinya semua orang harus pakai kubah lah. Sepertinya Pak Rektor ada topi haji, Pak dosen topi haji, ya, yang jadi satpam pun topi haji. Ya, to show that oh ni orang Indonesia, not necessary kan. Ya. But the context kalau anda can appreciate in a different form, abstraction, that perhaps can help. But the first regulation, do not imitate others. Yeah. Okay, I hope that can answer a bit. Yeah. Yeah. Soalan-soalannya sukar-sukar lah. It takes quite a longer period for me to explain. I'm not sure whether the explanation hit the notes.
Yeah. Gimana teman-teman? Cukup menjawab ya? Arif Kurniawan yang tadi yang pertanyaan pertama ya dari chat. Thank you, sir, for the interesting answer and explanation. So I think we still have, for some couple question or another one question. Anyone, please? Masih ada yang mau bertanya? Diskusi? Kita masih punya waktu satu atau dua pertanyaan. Okay. Tidak ada.
Janganlah malu-malu. Tulis pun tak apa-apa.
Ya, di chat boleh, silahkan.
Ya, di chat pun boleh, ya. Ataupun WA saja pada Ibu Aisyah, ya, kalau malu. Ya. I always believe, ya, para mahasiswi yang saya kasih, saya percaya begini. There is no question as a stupid question. No question as a silly question. Kadang-kadang kita teman-teman kita guru, alah kayak soalan kayak gitu aja dipersoalkan. Kadang-kadang soalan tu simple tapi susah sekali mau dijawab ya. Tadi Pak Wing tadi bagi soalannya simple. Aduh, saya pun macam mana mau jawab ni. Yeah. Sometimes
Jadi boleh kan
yeah.
sulit kan terus
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm okay. Yeah. And actually I miss the face to face ya Ibu ya.
Yeah. Hopefully next year.
Yeah, inshallah.
Dr. Asrul come to
Yes,
Jogja
yes,
again.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully the travel restriction become more ease next year.
I was informed, betul kan ini kalau pergi ke Indonesia kuarantinnya 3 hari. Betul kan?
It's always changed. I don't know the last regulation. Maybe it's around 2
Oh,
days.
okay. So sometimes change.
Saya nggak update dengan
So if it is 3 days, not so bad. If you like say fly in on Friday and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they can work on Monday. But the problem is that when you fly back to Malaysia, you have to quarantine for 10 days.
Saya 10 hari. Saya 10 hari.
Indonesia is 10 days too. No.
10 days. Oh my
Increase.
God. Yeah. So let's say you have a lecture for, let's say you have interaction with UEE for 3 days, you end up with 23 days a month. So
yeah,
so 3 weeks quarantine.
I did that actually.
Oh dear.
We went to Turkey, and then I go back, and I had to spend 1 week in Jakarta.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Tapi kena tengok selepas Januari, Prof. Selepas Januari kita tengok, mungkin dia sudah berubah lagi kepada 3 hari ataupun 1 minggu. Tapi bolehlah mungkin selepas Januari kita boleh tengok lagi. Tapi setakat ini 10 hari.
Yeah. Somebody did a study in Malaysia, but I do not know whether it's true or not. Actually, there's more people who die of dengue than it is for COVID. Lebih banyak orang mati kena dengue daripada kena COVID. So, but yeah, like it's always the news kan. Tiap hari COVID. Yeah. And people forgot that we have weekly, monthly, daily casualties for those who get dengue fever. Demam dengue berdarah kan, kalau di salah yang mungkin di Indonesia.
Yeah, demam berdarah, dengue. Yeah. Oh well, thank you very much, Dr. Asrul. I think the student doesn't have any more question, but they can still join another lecture from Dr. Asrul, right?
More than happy.
Yeah, have fun. Yeah, please check in the department Instagram. Yeah, the department will upload about the schedule for the next lecture from Dr. Asrul. So. Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Asrul, for sharing with us today. Please give the applause for Dr. Asrul. Your virtual applause. We would like to, give the appreciation that you always very kind to share about the experience in Malaysia. Yeah, and I have a task to give you a certificate of appreciation, but virtually. But Afifa, could you share the screen? I'm really sorry we cannot give it to you directly.
Right.
Of course, we send it to you by email, but let me share it. So this is a certificate of appreciation for Dr. Asrul. Thank you very much to be the guest for today in our subject, bread and housing and urbanism course. Yeah, thank you very much,
Thank
Dr.
you very
Asrul.
much for having me.
And yeah, hopefully you stay healthy and safe there in Malaysia, and we can meet you hopefully next year when
insyaAllah hari Isnin nanti ada satu lagi kuliah, ASEAN Regionalism.
Ya, silahkan teman-teman boleh join ya di kuliah Dr. Asrul. Maybe there will be another thing, a new thing to serve us. So thank you very much. So let's end this session with hamdalah. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. And would like to close. Thank you very much again, Dr. Asrul and everyone coming and join to this session. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih Bu Asya, terima kasih Pak Wing, Prof Wing ya, terima kasih
banyak.
Pak
Asrul.
Insinyur Fradianto, terima kasih juga Ibu Syarifah. Terima kasih, mudah-mudahan Allah SWT membantu ya, Bu.
Amin, insyaAllah. Terima kasih, Dr. Asrul.
Baik. Assalamualaikum semuanya.
Waalaikumsalam.
Terima kasih.